Have you ever heard the story of Maybe? The story of Maybe and the farmer who his mares roam free during the week or during the day, and then they come home to come into the stable at night for safety. And then one time they bring a beautiful stallion back with them, and then all of the townspeople come to the farmer and say, "Oh my God, you have the most magnificent stallion, and your son is a prized stallion trainer. You are so lucky." And the farmer said, "Maybe." And so then the farmer's son is then training and working with this stallion, and then the stallion ends up bucking the son off his back and breaking his leg into like 5 different places. And
Oh,
all the townspeople come and they say, "Oh my God, at first we thought you were so lucky because the stallion showed up and it's beautiful, but it's untamable and nobody can tame that thing if your son can't. And I don't know what you're going to do with him. So now you got a son with a broken leg and you got this untamable horse, and maybe you're not so lucky." And the farmer says, "Maybe. Well, did you know that there was a war going on in that country, but it hadn't hit their town yet? And so the next day, the soldiers came to their village and took all the young, capable, able bodied men away. All of their boys got taken to war to lose their lives, some never to return again. But that farmer's son, he was injured and couldn't go. And so they all came to him and said, "At first we thought it was amazing, and then we thought it was a tragedy, and now all of our sons may never come back, and you have your son here, and you're so lucky." And the farmer said, "Maybe."
wow.
That's like,
Oh
isn't that a
man, that
beautiful
is
story?
amazing. Yeah.
I
That's
love that story.
that is so I thought you were talking about something else, so I apologize. No, I have not heard that one.
I love it. Well, the story of Maybe is maybe applicable to this interview. I don't know what your relationship with Maybe is, but Ginine, Emily, it's an absolute pleasure.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I just another way to hit the
Ginine,
shore?
Emily, with great
Hello, everybody.
place.
Hello, Laura.
Hello, how are you, Janine?
I am doing so amazing. I'm so grateful to be here, Laura. I always, you have such a beautiful smile. I just love being online with you.
I am so excited because I understand what we're part of, and I see such a beauty in the view. And you actually contributed Quiet Warrior as the song on album 22, and obviously with Peaceful Inner Warriors United as the movement and system that I've been working on for so long. The fact that there's actually a song about warriors on the album is just like, yes, thank you. So Quiet Warrior, what does that song mean to you?
Oh, absolutely. Or did you want me to give the introduction about, not everybody knows who I am.
You don't know who Janine Emily?
Or
Okay.
should I just go right into the song? It's up to you.
Thank you for being more cognizant of where everybody is, which is so important and such a fundamental piece of the sacred sojourn of the soul to really understand we're all at our own place on the journey. So, yes, please, we're going to go back, and I would love for you to start by just sharing where in the world you actually are, and then who you are, and how you came to be as you are to contribute Quiet Warrior as the song that album 22 now holds with your energetic signature on it. How about that?
Oh my gosh, yes, that sounds beautiful. So actually, I am in Plano, Texas, which not many people may know where Plano is, but it's northeast of Dallas. And I just moved here from beautiful Washington State, which, hi, everybody from Washington State. I miss the Pacific Northwest, but this was a necessary move for me. So I'm now in Texas in my dream home, by the way, like literally the house of my dreams with a beautiful new music studio, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yes, I'm so happy to be here again. I'm so grateful to be a part of this project. It's really helped. Oh gosh, just with so many different things during this whole COVID process, this journey through the last couple of years. But anyways, my name is Ginine Emily, and I am in a band called Chasing Oz still. Yes, I am. We're still together, but I also have a solo project called Lace and Grit. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, but I'm also a transformational consultant. And what that means is, I coach women in living their purpose and learning to be fully alive by being their true, authentic selves. And that's what Lace and Grit is all about. It's about being your true, authentic self. And we do this through healing and transformation of the mindset. It's so important. I mean, we were talking just a little bit ago about mindsets, and I really am on this journey of, neuroplasticity. You're seeing that all over the news now, and transformation of mind. So I help young women overcome their insecurities and achieve breakthrough results. And, the way I look at it is, if I could do it, anybody can, because I am an overcomer of many things, including addiction, physical and emotional abuse, being an adult child of an alcoholic and drug addict father in a very dysfunctional family. I was homeless. I was in despair. I had suicidal thoughts. Pretty much I was afraid of everything when I was younger. And I was very quiet. So on the outside, though, I really did appear to be okay, but I wasn't okay. And so now I live a life of abundance, a life without fear, a life fully alive and free. And, the main wish that I really do have in life is to help women to achieve this as well, and to live a life of abundance, fully alive, and to move through the fear. You can't jump over it. You have to move through it, and to be their true, authentic selves. And so I believe God and music are very instrumental in healing and in mind transformation. And so I was very honored to be asked to be a part of this album 22, because it's all about sound frequencies and the healing that can come from that. So I really, really thank you and honor you for moving through this and moving forward with this, even despite the challenges that we've had in the past year or so. So thank you.
It's truly been my absolute pleasure. And I remember, were on the first call when Jared gathered some incredible people. And it was just kind of one of those moments where I got to show up to a room that I hadn't assembled, but I was hosting the meeting for. And you were there. And it was just like, wow, these people are exceptional individuals that I want to spend more time with, because iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the biggest thinker in my room, because then I wouldn't be growing. And what I see about so many people that kind of get to the top of their art or industry is that, they reach the peak and then they kind of look down on others and, where everyone else is. And it's just like, you got to actually leave your perch in order to actually reach the people. And so, like, you went through the journey as well in the time when everyone else was going through that journey. And like, you even moved not countries, but you moved states process, which can even feel like a whole new culture shock when you move. What was it like to actually go through the moving process, that simple humanly activity during the world's biggest pandemic in our time?
It was a journey, and it started last summer, to be honest with you, because COVID for me, it presented a lot of changes, just like it did for other people. I mean, for performers and artists that, made their living off of touring and performing live, that all stopped. There were so many changes. And, at the beginning of the pandemic, I did catch the virus, And I also was hurt physically right before that. I fell off a ladder. And the reason why I'm telling you this is there's so many things that happened, and I became involved. It also forced me to rest because I was very burnt out pre-COVID. I was doing too many things, and I wasn't relying on community and reaching out and to other people. I was just doing it all myself. I don't know why. It's not that I thought that I was the only person that could do it, but so I just really was burning the candle at both ends and not doing right things right. There were so many different things. I won't go into detail, but COVID kind of forced me to rest and to rethink a lot of things. And also it opened up a whole world of new opportunities within the music realm. I think it did for so many artists out there, being able to record. So I started learning production, recording and production, which I never thought possible for myself. I always paid a lot of money to go into recording studios. And, I always was a songwriter and a singer, but somebody else, I always paid somebody else to do it. And all of a sudden I'm in this world of, like, whoa, I actually can do it. And I was part of a community, worldwide community, via Zoom. So many of these people I still have not met face to face, including you. But COVID really did allow a whole new world of community opportunities for us via Zoom, because it doesn't have to be, face to face all the time. So it opened up a whole new world of opportunities for me. But then I went into this state of mind in October, and I think that's right around when we started talking about this album 22. Do you remember was it August or?
Jared, may have talked to you around October time.
Yeah.
I think that we had our first meeting in December last year.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to be totally frank, because no matter how hard we work on ourselves, no matter how okay we think we are, a storm can come at any time. And kick your feet out from underneath you. And if you don't have community, I'm going to cry now. If you don't have a platform to stand on in community, you can fall, and it's okay to fall. And in October, I did fall. And what I mean by that is I went into a pretty deep depression. But you know what? It was a good depression because I had to get on my knees and pray to God, Lord, where do you want me? Why is this happening? Why are all these changes happening? Like, what do I need to do? And I just humbled myself in every way. And the journey was to sell my house. And I had an older house in Seattle, by the way. And, there were 1,001 different reasons why I moved away from Washington State. And I won't get into detail about those, but really 1,001 different reasons. But I had to get my house ready to sell, which in and of itself was a huge journey, because I was doing things that I had never done before and doing them alone, in a lot of respects. But, YouTube, learning how to do things on YouTube, fixing things within the house, and getting it ready to sell, and going through that whole process and then selling. And then, of course, packing and moving. And yes, I did. I came all the way to Texas, and I was able to move into my dream home, as I said. And, I have been smiling ever since. In Washington, I tell people the last couple months that I was there, 8 out of 10 days was difficult, because I do, struggle with depression, and my whole life. It's been a lifelong thing, battle. And, there's all kinds of tools that I talk about with my young ladies and women. I go into high schools, I go into colleges, I speak at summits and conferences. I coach ladies one-on-one. And that's, there's some tools if you do. So first of all, I want to say, mental health is so important. And if you are struggling with some sort of depression or mental illness or any sort of struggles with the mind, know that you are not alone. Know that there's a community that can help you through it. And you may be having thoughts, that you just want to die or that there's no hope. There is hope. There's always hope. And reach out to somebody. Okay. That's all I have to, I just want to say it's okay to not be okay, because none of us are perfect, right? We all fall short, but we are perfect together as a community. We can all help each other in so many different ways. And that, you just have to you just step out of be vulnerable, step out of the fear and step into the world of being courageous, and don't be afraid to fail and fall forward, because you know what? We all do that. We all fail. You talk to the most successful person in the world, and they're not going to say, oh yeah, it was easy. I never had one failure. It all worked out perfect, and then I ended up with this $1 million home. And, I don't think you're going to see that very often. It's like, yeah, I had to claim bankruptcy like 3 times. And, I fell flat on my face several times, and I had to fail 2 businesses, I mean, that's just a part of success, right? We learn from it. We fail forward. You don't be afraid to actually get out and do it, because what do you have to lose, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? So, I just want to say though that there's a whole community, there's a whole life out there for you of hope and abundance. And I do want to talk about Quiet Warrior, because it came during these difficult times that the journey started during these difficult times, during the pandemic last year. And, I already talked about how it's so hard for some of us performers, that it just ended, right? And so during this whole process, I met some amazing women across the world, women and men, at all levels, singers, songwriters, non-musicians, producers, just all different types of people. And I met this amazing woman named Aimmee Francis, who is in Australia. And she is an amazing guitar player and singer and songwriter. Oh, I forgot to put my phone on vibrate. So I just got a message actually from somebody down in LA. But hey, let's be real, right? We're all being real here. Anyways, I met her, and we started, the initial sessions that we were in, we started getting to know each other. And what we realized is that we had so much in common, and that we were both very much introverted in so many different ways, that we have a hard time speaking out and speaking up for ourselves. And I think the misnomer out there, the myth is that if you're performing in front of thousands of people, that you're an extrovert. I think some people just assume that, and that's not true. A lot of us are quite introverted. It's hard for us to speak out and to speak up, even when we should be promoting our own music, and even, when the opportunity is there, we're sometimes in the background going, I'll let everybody else go first, and I wrote some notes so I didn't forget anything. So if I'm looking down, that's why, because I have a hard time remembering things. And that's one of the things when you're an introvert, you get real nervous when you're speaking in front of others, and it's okay to take notes. It's okay not to be perfect and to always say the perfect things, but we realized that we had so much in common, and we just started writing this song. And I've co-written with so many different people, but it's never just fell into place so beautifully and so magically as it did with Aimmee, because we had so much in common. And yet she's in Australia, I'm in the US, we're countries apart, right? And I fell in love with her, she's just such a beautiful young woman. And, we wrote this song, we co-wrote it, and we were like, okay, this is something special. Who can we get to produce it? Because she and I are back then we're both inspiring, like we're both producers who are in the making, but we didn't think that we were at that level yet where we could take it to the level that it needed to be. So we found this guy in the UK that she had worked with before. His name is Chris Sutherland. And the three of us just worked magic, you know, back and forth, back and forth. And we really came up with this beautiful gem called Quiet Warrior. And one of the things that, you know, we did talk about was all of the frontline responders, all of the people that are out there on a daily basis that were, to, you know, during the COVID times, fighting, you know, to help make the world a better place, to help people. Those are the true heroes, right? Those are the true heroes, the ones that go out and do and love on other people and help other people. And yet they're often forgotten. They're often unseen. You know, they're not in the forefront, you know, they're not, you know, being given all the accolades and oh, you know, and it's those people that we wanted to honor as well. And so it came from a very personal perspective, Quiet Warrior. But you know, sometimes we get on social media, you know, and things like COVID and mean things that people say, you see things all over the news, they can get you down and kick you down. And, you know, just like I was saying, just, you know, you can be a warrior, you know, you can be part of a community. I just wanted, again, I want to honor our first line responders and our police force. It just, I really do. Like there are some good ones out there, right? Not all of them are bad. But I just, you know, that one of the lines in Quiet Warrior is the crazy ocean waves will not drown us. So, you know, you get in this ocean of waves, right? But you can choose to have a mindset of, I can do this, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, and I'm not going to let it get me down. We can choose our thoughts. We can change the way we think. Those old voices from the past that were telling us, you know, oh, just shut up, Ginine. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Shut up. You're not good enough. You're not worthy. What makes you think you can produce music? All of those voices from the past, you can choose to walk away from them. You can choose to not believe those voices and to believe that you are a child of God, that you are worthy, that you are beautiful, you are unique, you are everything that you ever want and wish to be. And so Quiet Warrior, I'm so honored to have it on this amazing album with so many other artists from around the world. And I know I went on and on, probably way far too long, but I just felt like I needed to say all of that. So Laura, thank you so much. Thank you.
It was the perfect amount of time because
Oh,
that was everything that needed to go in a space I felt no desire to intrude on. So there is no apology required because truly all of it was required. Like, I think so oftentimes we don't want to take up as much space as what we think others aren't comfortable with because I don't know about you, but my entire life I've been told I'm too much. Have you experienced that while growing up, maybe?
yes, because I'm a very intense person. Like that's just part of my personality is I'm intense. And so I'm passionate. I've got this life in me. And some people are, especially Americans, are very reserved. I don't want to like call out America, but in the US, I think, because I've been to so many other countries, people tend to be reserved. And so they're like, you're just too overwhelming for me, Ginine. You know, you're too much. So yes, I have got, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what you were referring to, but that's,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly it. And I think that that even ties in with the depression you had spoke of as well. It's like I've been given a diagnosis of bipolar, and I don't take medication. I've never, like, my low has only ever been when I bought into the cultural BS that made me feel like I was sick because I was saying something's wrong.
Yes.
I am not well adapted enough to a toxic culture to rally with absolute BS that I cannot back with
Yeah.
facts that are actually tracked back to the system that I exist within, which is my own body. And I just feel like I could never fully align. And then I made a crazy call and basically reported to the police that the system was corrupt and that they were in on it. And it didn't go well. And I learned really fast about how the mental health system itself can actually be used against the individual, to have the tribe turned against the individual,
Yep.
so that the tribe thinks that the individual is crazy, that the individual is too much. Our entire lives we've had the tribe used to condition the individual to say you can be this, but only to this level, not
Yep.
this level.
That's exactly right.
That the box extends to, but no further, Ginine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I think of in those cases, I think of, somebody that has suffered like an injury, car accident where they're told you're never going to walk again.
Right.
I actually had that. I broke my knee when I was in the 3rd grade. And I broke it in some really unfortunate spots. I was kind of a kamikaze, a tomboy, and I was in the mountains mountain biking, went where I shouldn't have gone. But I was told that I would never walk normally again, that I would be disabled the rest of my life. Like the doctors were telling me this, or you hear about somebody that says that you're going to be a paraplegic or a quadriplegic, and these people walk again. They choose not to believe that. Like, we're not our labels. Like, we're not, some people walk around with addict on their forehead. Oh, I used to be an addict, or I used to be in jail. I was a convict, and they're walking around, and it's like, no, you are not defined on maybe what you did in the past or what other people are telling you that you can and can't do. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that was me for so many years. I'm like, yeah, I'm only capable of this, when really maybe I'm capable of this, like, can't see my hands, but so much more.
Maybe.
Yes.
It's such an applicable story to have started this interview with, because do you agree or dare to say, Ginine, my experience, I believe, could potentially be similar to yours, that when I went through my darkest time, it was because I had taken on other people's BS and it was overloading my boat, my system, my mothership. And because I allowed somebody else's BS to overload and swamp me and bog me down and layer me with all of their dirt and garbage, like the law of the garbage truck, you've heard of that? Like, everybody's running around their day filling up with garbage, and sometimes they'll come and stand in front of you and then unload, and then you choose.
Give me their garbage. Yeah.
Right? It's like,
take my trash. Yeah.
You choose to take it, or just be like, yo,
Yes.
just step over to the side and let me whatever you need to do. And when you're like done, just come over and we can process through what showed up to be processed. Because would you not agree that emotions and like depression, the momentum of that when it hits you, it's not all in this moment. The momentums of depression are literally like an entity, an emotion that comes with it. All of the momentums of all of those past repressed, suppressed, depressed, compressed.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Emotions.
Yes.
To stay in movement, and you said, "Oh, I can't feel that; it's too much."
Yes.
And
oh yeah.
In those moments when you get overtaken by the momentum of that, how have you breathed yourself through it? How have you called yourself present?
For me, I thank God for my Jesus. I am a believer. But for me, like, and this happened in October. I can't even explain to you why or how it happened, but I did go into such a deep low that I had to look up to see the bottom. And, a lot of it too is that Washington is it's not very sunny most of the, it's beautiful now, but I tell you what, most of the year it's very dark. And then COVID, it's like the rain, the dark, everything feeds into your depression. So for me, again, I had already, there's so many books out there. There's so many resources. I've done hours and hours and hours of study and work to where when you have that in your tool chest, you can pull out of that tool chest. And for me, it's prayer. It starts with prayer, but it's also music. So if I and I'm not kidding you, I am not afraid to dance like no one's watching. In fact, out in my backyard, I have a beautiful pool now. I'll just crank on the music and be swimming and dancing around, and that's what I do too. Like I will crank on music that I love and dance like nobody's watching, even if I'm not feeling it. Like if the emotion, because emotions can, like the thoughts in your, and even emotions can lie to you, like you're saying. Some of them are like it, and I have to tell you, for me, it's also about, it's a physical thing too. It is a physical thing. So I have to drink a lot of water. I have to take care of myself. I have to get rest. I have to get rest, because if I don't, and that was one of my problems too. Remember, I told you pre-COVID, I was burning the candle at both ends. I was doing so many different projects. And I was also, I'm in this wonderful organization called Celebrate Recovery, which is an incredible organization, by the way. It's worldwide. I just came from a summit where there were 10,000 people, celebrating recovery and healing choices, and choosing to make the world a better place. But even when something good is happening, you still need to get your rest and I know for me, again, things may be different for everybody, has their own journey, but for me, it's getting rest, it's drinking water, it's listening to music and dancing like nobody's watching, maybe exercising a little bit, but getting the blood flowing, which, dancing can do, prayer and reading things that I know are the truth. Because when I'm suffering from depression, there's these thoughts in my head and these feelings in my heart that are not of my own. Like it's like this blackness that takes over you that's saying there's no hope for the future. Like there's these lies are in your head saying, no matter what you do or no matter what you try, it's not going to work. It's, you're not going to sell your house. I mean, during the process of work, selling my house, I could tell you so many different things that happened along the way that it was like the devil trying to get him down, man, trying to, like this devil cowboy. That's the way I look at it, trying to lasso me, Is that what you call it when they do the rope? Yeah. Is that what? Okay, I should know that. I'm in Texas now, right? But I'm not a cowgirl. But it's like trying to get you down and trying to make you think that you're not okay and you're not enough. And you can fight back. You can say, you know what, screw you. I don't have to listen to you, because life is worth living. And, no matter what happens, right? That's another thing I forgot to even talk about is the community. It's so important. That's what Celebrate Recovery is all about. It's about community. It's about group counseling, community, like getting together and being with people that are like-minded, who I think we level up. We were talking about that earlier. I don't know if it was on the recording, but choose not to hang out with those people that are toxic and who are telling you that the world is a sucky place and that just all that negative stuff. Like, you can choose to hang out with people that are more talented than you, are more successful, because you know what? They're going to take you to that next level. They're going to help you climb that mountain. They're going to be like, either sometimes it's pulling you with the rope, sometimes it's, like lifting you up the mountain. Sometimes they're that you're actually ahead of them and you're helping them and you're climbing the mountain together and you both are strapped. If you think about rock climbing, right? You've got those those harnesses and those wires, that you're putting your life into, but also you're putting your trust into the humans that have created those wires and those harnesses, the humans that are with you on your journey. Community is so important. And since I am an introvert, I'm like right down the middle. I'm extroverted and introverted, but when I'm in those states, I isolate. I separate myself from the multitude, and that was an issue for me that I had to get past. Is it's okay to not be okay, and don't be worried. People, actually, what I've learned, you will make somebody else's day if you reach out to them and say, you know what, I'm not okay. Can you come over? I need somebody to talk to. You'll make their day. They'll be like on fire going, yes,
Right?
oh my gosh, yes, I am there for you.
Shine.
Yes. And community, oh my gosh, I can't say enough about it, because now it is a staple in my life. And there's different, there's the music community, there's the recovery community, there's the family, like your people, your comrades that know you better than anybody. They know your faults, they know everything about you, and they still love you, and they still want you to succeed. You need those kind of people too, that are again lifting you up. It's like, get away from those people that are telling you that and it doesn't matter who they are. And it could be even like just people on social media, the bullies on social media, comparing yourself to all these people that are saying that they're perfect and they've got this wonderful life, and you're comparing yourself going, oh, why aren't I doing that? Why aren't I at that level that they are? Don't, just stop it. Stop comparing yourself. Just compete with your best you. Compete with your best you. So see, I got on another little intensity. It's like this rush of intensity and emotion.
That's what passion is. It's
Yeah.
fire. It's the spark. It's just like that wave you have no need to apologize for. So everybody does. Everybody, not everybody, because that's a definitive, and then that means there's no doubt and there's no exceptions, and there's always an exception. So I won't say everybody. But the majority of people, myself included, after we go on a brilliant dive into a deeper perspective that included multiple trails, it's like at the end of that, we feel the need to say sorry, when it's just like, no, thank you. Actually, that was perfect. That was exactly where we needed to go in order to say, life is a windy path, and we have to choose to be self-responsible.
Yes.
To choose who we're going to surround ourselves with. We have to choose to be part of common unity with others who have a desire to contribute and uplift and up level themselves alongside of others willing to do the same thing. So it's an absolute pleasure and honor to be on this journey with you, Ginine. And so I am so thrilled to have Quiet Warrior as the CD feature that you've contributed from Lace and Grit. So thank you. Quiet Warrior is available on album22.com. So definitely check that out, as well as all of the other 21 songs that are featured. And dear Lord, let me just truly say, wow, it has been such a pleasure meeting a woman that is walking the talk, that is embodying a new energetic signature, that has went through the transformation, even just since starting this journey. And you've lived to tell the tale. And so you're not only doing so, you're doing it in a way that people can resonate and feel with it in order to feel through their own feelings. And you're talking about your feelings too, which is huge, because there's so much shame around emotions that people, when they are depressed, feel like it's too heavy. And for some it is. There's a lot of people that, it's just like, I got a platter, not a plate. And my platter is already full. So if you think you're coming over here, then you're just going to get some of my platter on you to dissuade you from coming any further. It's kind of what you get from some people. And so it goes back to actually what you had shared about the fact that it's just like, we are lighthouses, and we are intense, and we are too much for some, and we do shine really bright. And we have to be spaced out and not around a whole bunch of other lighthouses, or it would be saturated. So it's, we have to hold up our little individual part of the world. But it's like when we go down, boats get out of the way. They don't stick around when a lighthouse is coming down. It's like, there's no way I can help that. I'm getting out of the way. I'm saving myself. Like, gotta deal with yourself. Sorry. Like, just figure it out. You can do it. Like, I believe in you, as they're rushing away, you know? And I feel like so many of us who are those lighthouse people in the communities that we've created in the years, it's like when they haven't been able to be there for us because they expected us to be something for them that we couldn't be in that moment, there's an extra level of humbling and humiliation or shame that comes with being the one that always did for others and that didn't have anyone there to do it for them.
Yep. Yep.
You can relate to that?
Oh gosh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
That's why we've created this community. So this is about so much more than an album. And if you want to speak into that as our final piece for today, I just want to really honor you and say huge thank you and gratitude for starting this important conversation, because I do really want to take this conversation a lot deeper, and I'd like to get others included in this conversation, Ginine, because I feel like with the experiences that you've survived, and not only lived through to tell the tale from, but also thrived in order to be willing to stand and dance by a pool on your own as a single woman, you know, like to be willing to dare to do that, that is an act of bravery, even in its simplest form. So just, you know, way to go.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, I do want to say that I love to hear other people's stories. Through storytelling, I believe we can touch other people's lives, because I know, like, I just saw this amazing singer, the lead singer of We Are Vessels, and he was up giving his testimony, his, you know, life story. And I was like listening to him thinking, wow, I guess I'm not a freak, because I have experienced the same exact things. And I won't go into detail about his story, but I love hearing other people's stories. And so I'm not trying to sell anything here. But I want to, whoever's watching this, whoever does watch this, I'd like to invite you to get in contact with me. You can do it through my email, which is GinineEmily22@gmail.com. That's GINEEEMILY22@gmail.com. Or my website, which has a contact page, is laceandgrit.com. So LACEANDGRIT. And you can get in contact with me there. And, you know, a lot of times I will hear somebody's story and I will write a song with their permission. And there's nothing like hearing your story put to music. And I would love to do that for you. I've done that for others. Again, not trying to sell anything, but I do want to hear other people's stories, because it's so important. It's important to speak about it as well. I think we keep things bottled up way too much. You know, those of us who maybe have been abused in the past or come out of a abusive relationship, or you know, just all the stuff that's happened, we're afraid to talk about it. We don't think there's anybody else out there, but there is, like, and we can share our stories. And that's what album 22 is. Like, when I'm listening, which I do on a regular basis, it's there. And I just wanted to let you know, so Quiet Warrior has not been officially released through Spotify yet, but you're going to put the links of where you can find it. So I know a lot of people are on Spotify and there's playlists out there. We are getting ready to release it, but it hasn't been officially released on Spotify. But you'll put the links up there of where to find it. So just wanted to mention that.
That's absolutely brilliant. I am so grateful that you did share. I will get all of those posted into the replay, which I will post to my YouTube channel. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed to that channel, then make sure you go. Laura JeH Hamilton is where this interview will be posted, as well as all of the other interviews with artists from album 22. So as amazing as Ginine Emily is, she is in fellow good company, and I am so grateful to have been able to host this meeting. So thank you for trusting Jared and I to have an idea and connect with others, and thank you for daring to say yes. Thank you for daring to grace this world with your heart, and it has truly been an absolute pleasure. So we're gonna wrap down on Facebook and then just have a couple words after this.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.
Hold me up. Will you scold me? Can I prove to you that I am so much more? I have a voice. I have a choice to be someone who lives without the noise. I'm a quiet warrior. I'm a force of nature, not a waste of time. Crazy ocean waves cannot drown me. I am here. I am strong. There's no way for you to keep me down. I can hold me up. I can love me. I don't need to prove to you I'm so much more. I am the voice. I have the choice to be someone who lives without the noise. I'm a quiet warrior. I'm a force of nature, not a waste of time. I'm a quiet warrior. I am my future. I'm the only kind. The crazy ocean waves cannot drown me. Can you hear me? Do you see me? I'm a quiet warrior. Can you hear me? Do you see me? I'm a quiet warrior. I'm a force of nature, not